Just recently, millions of us saw this incredible moment, hostages being released, people returning home. Such relief, right? A very visible end to one crisis. But imagine another crisis, just as devastating, involving tens of thousands of children happening mostly out of sight. Kids taken, maybe their names changed, their pasts erased. Welcome to The Military Point, your ultimate source for sharp insights, analysis, and updates covering today's most important topics. Before we continue, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We'd love to know. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more updates. Okay, so today we're diving into what some are calling the other hostage crisis, Russia's alleged forced transfer and indoctrination of Ukrainian children. We've looked at detailed tracking from Yale, international law perspectives, human rights analyses. Our goal here is to really unpack the scale, the legal weight, and honestly, the human cost of this. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and when you first encounter the numbers, they really just stop you in your tracks. The Yale School of Public Health's research lab, the HRL, they've been tracking this meticulously.
And it's not small numbers we're talking about, is it?
Not at all. They're tracking points to potentially over 35,000 Ukrainian children affected. 35,000.
That's an enormous number. It immediately suggests this isn't some haphazard thing. There has to be a system behind it.
Exactly, a vast infrastructure. The HRL identified at least 210 different facilities. These are spread across Russia and occupied parts of Ukraine.
210 facilities.
Yeah, places used to house these kids, process them, and crucially re-educate them since, the full invasion started in 2022. It's a huge machinery.
And the purpose. That seems to be the really disturbing part. It's not just about moving children for safety, is it? What's happening inside these places?
Well, the report suggests the goal is basically erasure. Children are subjected to, and I'm quoting loosely here, programming ranging from ideological indoctrination to militarization.
Militarization.
Yes. Trying to break their connection to Ukraine, replace their identity, their love for their country with fear, obedience, loyalty to Russia. We're hearing about forced language changes, history lessons rewritten, even military drills.
Wow. Designed to turn them against their own home.
Essentially, yes.
Now, Russia's official line has often been that this is, humanitarian saving children from war zones, but the HRL data seem to directly contradict that.
It completely undermines it. They found Russian government management involved in over half of those 210 sites.
Over half. So state-run.
Directly involved. This isn't just a humanitarian busing gone awry, as some tried to frame it early on. It looks like a state-managed operation.
And the system seems designed to make returns difficult.
Extremely difficult. The legal structures they've set up, like fast-tracked adoptions, potential identity changes, it all seems geared towards making this erasure permanent. When the state itself is managing the facilities and changing the paperwork, it really shifts into, organized state action.
Which leads us straight into the legal implications. Major human rights groups, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, the UN Commission, they seem to be using very similar language to describe this.
They are, and that consensus is significant in international law. The Fourth Geneva Convention is very clear.
What does it say specifically?
It explicitly prohibits the deportation or forced transfer of civilians, especially children, from occupied territory. Violating this isn't just wrong, it's a grave breach. It's formally defined as a war crime.
A war crime. And the international community didn't just stop at calling it that, did they? The International Criminal Court, the ICC, took action.
That's right. In March 2023, the ICC issued arrest warrants.
For Vladimir Putin himself and his children's commissioner, Maria Lvova-Belova. What does that actually mean in practice? Are these warrants just symbolic?
Oh, they're much more than symbolic, even if enforcement inside Russia isn't possible right now. It means these individuals are essentially international fugitives.
So restricted travel.
Severely. Any of the 124 countries that are party to the ICC could potentially arrest them if they travel there. It limits their diplomatic movement, it carries a heavy international stigma, and it puts constant legal pressure on them.
Okay, so real, practical consequences. But the conversation has gone even further, hasn't it? Into the territory of potential genocide. That feels like a huge escalation from war crime.
It is a very significant legal threshold, yes. The argument stems directly from the Genocide Convention itself, Article 2, Section E.
And what does that specific section say?
It identifies the forcible transfer of children of the group to another group as one of the acts that can constitute genocide. The absolute key, though, is intent.
The specific intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. That sounds incredibly hard to prove in court.
It is the highest bar in international law, absolutely. Proving that specific intent is notoriously difficult. But the argument being made points to the whole system. It's not just about moving the children, it's the combination of mass scale, state control, and the active effort to strip them of their Ukrainian identity, language, culture. The argument is that this is an attempt to destroy part of the Ukrainian national group by preventing its continuity.
So the actions themselves, the indoctrination, the identity erasure, are presented as evidence of that destructive intent.
Exactly. The legal text provides the framework. Whether it meets the high standard of proof in court is one thing, but the legal argument itself isn't speculative. It's based on the convention's definition.
Okay, that clarifies the legal framework. But let's shift focus now from the statutes to the raw human impact. Why is this so urgent? It's because it's fundamentally about harming individuals, isn't it? The child and the parent.
Precisely. The harm is devastating, and it cuts both ways. For the children themselves, the psychological impact is immense. We're seeing reports detailing intense fear, confusion, helplessness.
And these aren't fleeting emotions. We're talking long-term trauma, right? PTSD, nightmares, severe separation anxiety. Their fundamental sense of safety is just gone.
Shattered. And it's compounded by the ideological assault. Imagine being told everything you knew is wrong. Maybe your parents didn't want you. Your name is different now. This forced identity change creates a deep internal wound. It can take years, maybe a lifetime of therapy to even begin addressing that kind of trauma.
It's hard to even comprehend. And then you have the parents. What does the research say about their experience?
It's a unique kind of hell, losing a child this way. It just breaks their world. Intense grief, of course, but also overwhelming guilt, feeling they should have done more, even if it was impossible.
And the not knowing.
And the uncertainty is crippling. Is my child alive? Are they okay? Where are they? It hangs over everything. It strains relationships, leads to depression, anxiety, even physical health problems. It's psychological warfare targeting the family unit.
So even setting aside the incredibly high bar for proving genocide in court.
Right. Even without that label, the act itself, the mass transfer, the identity erasure is fundamentally a grave war crime. It's an attempt to steal Ukraine's future by stealing its children. That much is undeniable based on the evidence gathered.
Given the scale of those tens of thousands, what's the reality of getting these children back? Are the rescue efforts making significant headway?
Unfortunately, the progress is painfully slow. The number of children confirmed returned is still only in the low thousands.
Low thousands out of potentially 35,000 plus.
Exactly. Each return is a complex, resource-intensive effort, often involving risky operations and delicate diplomacy. It's grinding work.
So international cooperation is critical. You mentioned Canada and Ukraine launched this international coalition for the return of Ukrainian children earlier this year. What concrete steps are being proposed for the international community, for the West, to really ramp up the pressure?
The analysis points to 4 key areas that need intense focus. The first one is basically about leverage, conditionality.
Conditionality, meaning?
Meaning, making the return of these children a non-negotiable condition like page 1, item 1, for any future deals with Russia. Whether it's ceasefires, sanctions relief, discussions about borders, anything.
That sounds powerful, but also incredibly difficult to enforce, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Moscow doesn't usually like linking humanitarian issues to major security or economic deals.
It's very difficult. It requires real political will from Western leaders to draw that red line and stick to it, saying, essentially, nothing moves forward until we see substantial, verifiable progress on returning these children. It forces tough choices, but the argument is it has to be central.
Okay, conditionality first. What's the second area?
Expanding targeted sanctions. We need to go beyond just the top figures like Putin and Lvova-Belova.
Target the whole machinery involved.
Exactly. The administrators running these camps, the regional officials signing adoption papers, the heads of the so-called charities involved, the transport companies, anyone facilitating this. The goal is to make it personally costly, legally and financially, for anyone participating in the system.
Makes sense. Make participation toxic. What about supporting the actual rescue work?
That's the third point, documentation and rescue funding. This needs serious investment. We're talking about funding groups that help families navigate dangerous journeys, paying for DNA testing to confirm identities.
Especially if names have been changed.
Precisely. Funding custody adjudication processes, building and maintaining secure registries that can track these children even if their details are altered. We need a system robust enough to counter the identity erasure.
Find them, even if their name is different. Got it. And the fourth point, it relates to the legal pressure.
Yes, maintaining the legal drumbeat. This means unwavering support for the ICC warrants and any complementary UN investigations. Keep the legal pressure on.
Even if arrests aren't immediate.
Especially then. The warrants restrict travel, they continue to stigmatize the leadership, and crucially, they preserve the legal record meticulously. This ensures that if opportunities for arrests arise in the future, the case is ready. It keeps reinforcing the global message. This is a major international crime.
So pulling it all together, the analysis frames this whole situation as effectively large-scale hostage-taking, using children as weapons to terrorize a population, and quite literally trying to erase a nation's future.
That's the stark reality presented, and it highlights how the visibility of any crisis really depends on where the world chooses to put its focus. The argument is that the return of Ukraine's children needs constant, unwavering, front-page attention until every single child is located and brought home. We talk about leaders needing to declare, no peace can leave Ukraine's kidnapped children behind. That sounds right, morally essential. But it does leave us with a really tough question, doesn't it?
Which is,
what concrete leverage does the global community actually have right now, beyond the sanctions and the legal pressure we've discussed, to compel a powerful state to reverse a state-sponsored crime of this nature on this scale? What tool truly works when faced with something like this? That's the incredibly difficult challenge ahead.
You've been listening to The Military Point. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll catch you next time.